Welcome back, everyone. We are here at SpeedGaming 2 with the Super Mario World No Cape No Star World Tournament. I am Mike the Pwn Star. I will be here guiding you through Dinosaur Land as Tenguliam and Venomplay see who can get through it faster. And it's a little different this time around. As I said, no cape, no Star World. These guys are not going to be using a cape. They are not going to be using Star World. So we're going to see some interesting strats, and I'm very excited to see what happens. So our runners have readied up, and we should see them getting started here very quickly. And here we go. Both taking actually very similar intro strats, doing the same kind of jump, little bit different timing. No big deal. It's the intro. It makes no difference, but good luck to both of our runners. And as we go through Yoshi's Island, first world in this category, not a lot of interesting things are supposed to happen. So as we do that, I'm going to take a peek over here at the leaderboards. Tenguliam is a 11 exit player as well. Has also played a couple hacks, has played Pokemon Red, Super Mario Bros. 3. Their PB in this category is a 3909. Venomplay playing lots of Super Mario World, also playing Mega Man X, DKC2, and a couple other games. And their No Cape, No Star World time is a 3925. So these guys actually have really close PBs. And that's honestly, that means we're going to have a pretty good race, I think. So as we get our guys through Yoshi's Island 2, going into Yoshi's Island 3, you're going to see them going across these brown platforms. And as they run across these platforms, they push them forward just a little bit extra. And that little bit extra will let them save a game second on the timer. Not the biggest time save to be concerned with, but it's definitely something to point out. So those are some interesting patterns you take to run on those platforms instead. Now, as we get into Yoshi's Island 3, there's not going to be a whole lot of interesting things to see. You're going to see some spin jumps, you're going to see some regular jumps. The only thing to note is what's going to happen with this shell here. Venomplay is going to jump over. Tenguliam also going to jump over it. So some runners like to take that shell and go for a shell jump across that gap so they don't have to swim. Some will crush it, and that saves a little bit of lag. Overall, like I said, we're in the first world. We're in Yoshi's Island. It doesn't matter. As long as you're not running off, taking a death. As long as you get through Yoshi's Island, you're set for a good run. Alright, so now we're in Wendys Castle. Whole reason we stay small, so we can get past that Koopa. It looks like they made it right around the same time, which is very good. They had roughly the same fences. Fences are a little tricky in this game because as you grab them, it slows you down. Moving across them slows you down. Usually you just try and jump off them and re-grab as you go along. And we'll see them again in Wendys Castle. And so we see slightly different kill strats, both getting out with a 239. Honestly, they're neck and neck. I think this is going to be a very good race. Yeah, these are some good cutscenes. Iggy's Castle. I'm not familiar with the exact wording in the Japanese cartridge, but it says something roughly to the effect of Mario defeated the demented Iggy Koopa of World 1 and is now proceeding on to Donut Plains. Normally a world full of cape tricks and flying, but as you can see, we are What is a cape? We're destroying everything with a cape. We don't want that cape. This is no cape, no Star World. So these guys are just going to fireball everything that's going to give them a cape. They're going to run and jump across here. And you're going to see them both going for this Yoshi. And what they're going to do with this Yoshi is take it all the way across towards the end of the level. And they're going to go for the secret exit by jumping off that Yoshi and just leaving him here. Down in Donut Plains. Venomplay having a little bit of issue getting up there. Needs that camera to scroll up. There we go. Meanwhile, Tenguliam's going into Donut Secret 1, and this is kind of a slow water level. It's very technical, though. It's a little bit easier without cape, in my opinion, just because everything's a little more consistent. You're going to see him going for these the P-switch and these throw blocks. And those are going to basically double Mario's speed underwater. For some reason, when Mario is holding an object, swims twice as fast. Venom's still having issues getting up there. And oh, there we go. There we go. Venom's up there. Venom is in Donut Secret. Tenguliam's in the ghost house. And I'll watch closely. Those jumps on the stairs are very intentional. They are there so that Tenguliam can keep his P-speed. Helps scroll the camera as they're bouncing off the boo, letting the boo carry them up and get through the door, which is much faster than the intended way to get through the ghost house. It's like 2 doors and a vine, the intended way, or you could just jump and bounce. Alright, now we're going to see Tenguliam go here into one of probably the deadliest early game level, if not deadliest level in the category. Oh, man. Having a good start so far. This is one of those levels that's... If you keep your speed all the way through, that you know you're doing it right. As long as you don't die. And it's very scary just because of how little you have to protect you. There's basically no ground the entire way. And even optimizing it further is tough. Now, Venom did something a little different to what Tenguliam did, and ran past the boo to get the P-speed and jump up. And that's a little bit slower, but it's a lot more consistent. Tenguliam taking a death, throwing that shell. I'm not sure throwing that shell that way was intentional. There we go. Alright, now Venom's taking his turn through Donut Plains 3. And they're opting to take that vine up there. And taking the vine and running across the clouds is another way to set this up. Some people find it easier. I think this is actually the way I found to work best for myself as well. It's a little bit slower, but it's, like I said, it's safer. And with the way these category goes, there's no shame in taking some of the safe strats, especially in a race setting. Especially when it only costs you like a couple of game seconds. Now Tenguliam's heading into Morton's Castle. Morton's Castle's a lot different in No Cape, No Star World. You actually see the second room first off. And then you get to the third room. And instead of a pretty cool fly up, you just sort of have to follow the cycle as fast as it'll let you. So while we do that, let's take a look at Venom, who's taking the star. And I think taking the star is a very smart way to get through the end of Donut Plains 4. There's a lot of enemies that can react a little weirdly because of the slopes. You can lose a power-up or lose your Yoshi unnecessarily. And now both of our runners are in Morton's Castle. Uh-oh, Tenguliam having a little bit of trouble getting up there. Phew! Made it, though. That top part was a little sketchy. But 2 fireballs, a jump, and we are out of there. Venom got that bounce off the dry bones up there, making their way up this last part of Morton. Let's see. I don't think they're going to do anything with that spring. Not a bad call. If that platform's moving, you try and jump on it, you might just get squished, and you don't want that. Alright, so Tengulium's entering Vanilla Dome, and Vanilla Dome has a few interesting levels. So what's going to happen here is they're going to go for this blue shell here. For those uninitiated with Yoshi and colored shells, the blue shell lets Yoshi fly. And that's going to be pretty key for a couple upcoming levels. This one in particular, because you just use it, fly up to the key, take Yoshi with you, and then you have to take this Yoshi and use it for a jump to avoid doing some slow vine climbing. So just like that, we ditch another Yoshi. Tengulium going just a little early, getting hit by that Koopa. And because one of those Koopas didn't get fireballed, one of those green bean platforms disappeared, which is kind of interesting. Now we're going to see Venom going for the blue shell fly up. Grabbing an extra flower. I think that's a good call. Alright, Tengulium's going to grab a Yoshi here. This Yoshi's used in Butterbridge 2. It makes that level a fair bit easier. Even though it's a bit of a time loss here to grab it. Now we're just going to bounce across these Koopas with Yoshi. It's also kind of a safety to get through this level. Looks like Venom had a little bit of trouble getting through that choke point of Koopas as well. Losing one of the flowers. Alright, now, Tengulium's it's a little bit ahead now. Is in the dolphin level. Fun fact, Japanese version is the only version of Super Mario World where you can eat the dolphins. Which is kind of... I don't really know how to feel about it. It's just kind of a weird fact. It also seems to be, to me, kind of an unfinished level. You know, I don't know very many games where they just sort of expect you to flop around the water for half of the level, but I'm not a professional level designer. I couldn't tell you. All right, Tengulium's going into the fortress. And this is gonna be the first time we see Reznor in this matchup. The level itself is relatively straightforward. You're just sort of charging through. Hey, I wonder what's in that box. You've got some spikes coming at you from the ceiling. Sometimes they hit you, as Tengulium demonstrates. It's pretty easy to manage your height in water levels, so it's not too difficult. Just sometimes you get weird timing on the little blip up and down. And other than that, you're just dodging the ball and chain and the fish. So let's see how this Reznor fight goes. Wow, these are some very unaggressive Reznor. Very lucky, and a very clean fight. Venom also in the fortress now in the first room. They're really well set on power-ups. Hey, what's in the box? And Tengulium is going to enter. Get your resident sleepers out, because I'll be honest, I don't have it in me to be excited for Butterbridge 1. I never have it in me to be excited about Butterbridge 1. It is a long, boring auto-scroller, and it is 2 minutes, and it has no midway. And because it is 2 minutes long, and it's an auto-scroller, a slow auto-scroller, boring auto-scroller, Venom having a very nice Reznor kill, by the way. You know, you get complacent, you start swagging out a little as Tengulium's doing, showing us that one up. But you start getting complacent. You accidentally die. You lose a minute and a half. I have seen races change hands because of Butterbridge 1. Which Venomplay has now entered. We have 2 runners in Butterbridge 1 right now. I don't know how to feel about this, to be honest. Tengulium's gonna grab that mushroom out of that box. And the 1-up. Not a bad choice. Now Tengulium's coming up on the end of Butterbridge 1 here. They're on the last platform, so now they just have to get through the final test through this pipe. They have to make the jump. There it is. Tengulium is out of Butterbridge 1. Our sanity is very soon to be saved. And here we are, Butterbridge 2. The whole reason we grabbed this Yoshi is to make this level significantly easier. You're gonna see us run across this platform. We're just gonna hop up. We're gonna grab one of these blue shells. Second, tongue's the charm. Get some P-speed and just fly up. This is probably the only auto fly. Wow, this is the only flyover level we're gonna see in this category. And honestly, this level's a mess if you're down below. You don't want to play this level. Venomplay getting past the red Koopas in Butterbridge 1. They're going to make their way into Butterbridge 2. Sanity restored. We can get back to playing in the game. Alright, Tengulium going a little bit early. No big deal. Gives up the power-up. Let's check this grab on Venom's side. Good grab. Tengulium going through the second room. Perfectly under those Podoboos. Just gonna run straight to the door, go into room 3. Where we're gonna see our good old friends, the fences, again. It looks like Tengulium's gonna take it pretty slow, which is pretty safe call, I think, because those Koopas, if you're not paying attention, they spawn before you see them. And they'll start moving before you see them. So if you're not super comfortable with the way they move, you're in for a bad time. This category is roughly 35 to 45 minutes. It has a fair bit of variance to it. But most runners are in the 35 to 45 range. Venomplay having a really solid start to Ludwig here. And because they have fire, they can pick up, I believe it's 14 seconds. Because Tengulium had to go for a cycle skip instead. And there it is. So we have roughly a cutscene between these guys. Venomplay's been picking up a little bit of time here and there. And having all these extra power-ups is certainly going to be an advantage going forward, especially through the forest. But hey, we also have Yoshi Clip coming up, and as we all know, Yoshi Clip can make or break any run. So we gotta stay tuned on these guys. Whew, I'm almost losing Yoshi. Hopping off that shell, getting out of there nice and quick. Now Tenguliam's gonna go for their Yoshi Clip attempt. Now all you guys gotta keep in mind, if you go for this and you do everything perfectly, you set up, you get the sub-pixel manipulation, you still have a 25% chance of getting kicked out just for no reason. And Tenguliam didn't like that setup. Didn't go for it right there. They're gonna try this next cycle. They've got the time right now. They can afford it. But Venomplay is very quickly approaching FOI 2 as well. And oh no, Yoshi's just not playing ball today. And we're in. Tenguliam's gonna hold on to that lead. And depending how Venom's Yoshi Clip goes, this could be a pretty big gap close. Oh, first try for Venomplay. Well done. I think everyone should get some PogChamps in chat for that, because Yoshi Clip can very easily be a very sore spot. But that is definitely going to start closing that gap. And oh no. That was close. Tenguliam missed the goal tape. Very briefly there. Yeah, we've still got a pretty solid race here. So we're going to go into Forest Evolution 3. There's a lot of bubbles. There's a lot of pipes. Very solid jump off that block. That's been causing people some trouble recently. And Venom getting it as well. These bubbles can be kind of problematic because when you hit them, you lose a lot of your speed. And you just sort of fall. It's kind of awkward. Alright. Tenguliam is heading into Roy's Castle. Now, typically, in a cape category, you see a very dangerous fly through this first room, followed by a fly through the second room. Followed by something leading into a fly through the third and fourth chambers. In this category, unfortunately, in the first room, we just gotta ride the block snake. We gotta play as intended. I know that's not what we usually like to do in speedruns, but you know, we gotta work with what we got. And sadly, this is all we got. But because we have these power-ups, what we can do in the second chamber is just jump into the spikes, use those iframes to jump across, just like Tenguliam did here. And then you use that speed to just run through, jump across, make your way into the Roy fight. Tenguliam's gonna have to do 3 jumps. But Venom, if they can get this jump right, if they go for the damage boost, I don't think they are because the Potaboo went with them. But they do have a small advantage still in that there's a, in that the Fire Flower is still in play here. So there's a... Man, Venom's got a big mess in that chamber. But finally we're through that chamber. That was really weird what was going on in there, to be honest. I think maybe it just sort of spawned weird because of the speed he had getting in there. But I'm not 100% sure on that. All right, but we're both through Roy. We're heading into Chocolate Island 1, and this is a surprisingly tough no cape level, in my opinion. You've got these dino rhinos, you've got the dino torches. They sort of bounce around weird. The dino rhinos have the weird hitbox. The slopes are kind of weird too, but, you know, tenguliam's just showing us how it's done, really. That was honestly a very well done Chocolate Island 1. I don't think I've ever performed that level that good ever. Venom going right into that Dino Rhino. But I guess one of the good things about this level is there are mushrooms basically everywhere. Oh no, Venom! It's also weird that wall clip that happened, but not quite getting that jump off the pipe. Tenguliam taking a safer version of the chocolate ghost house door. Getting a power up. It looks like they're going to damage boost through the boo. There we go. Get up top and ideally get through the door. And as you can see on Venom's side, you know, just one small thing in Chocolate Island 1 can really set things in a really bad direction. I would say it's probably one of the most deceptively difficult levels in the game. To play without a cape, of course. With a cape, you just fly over it. Now we're going to see Chocolate Island 2 on Tenguliam's screen. But really, until we get to Chocolate Secret, there's not a whole lot of interesting things happening. You just sort of have to... Oh, well... You know, I just had to say something. I'm going to call that one my fault. When you try and go under the chucks, sometimes you just don't make it. If you're just slightly off, you don't make it. And Venom's getting through the first room of the ghost house. Looked like there was a little bit of trouble, but nothing too major. Venom's taking a scroll strat, which lets them spin jump off that boo line without having to... Oh man, I got really nervous that it was about to happen again on Tenguliam's screen. You know, Venom showed us how to get out of there without sacrificing a power-up. Just using the screen scrolling to manipulate the spawns a little bit. That's kind of a theme throughout this category. Oh no, Tenguliam hit the weird thing about the corners in this game is you can sort of just hit them head on and lose all of your speed. And that sort of happened on that block, and so it made that chuck really sketchy. Oh, Venom giving up the Yoshi. But I don't think we need a Yoshi at this point, so no worries. Alright, now our runners are in the same level again. This is one of the longer levels as well. Tenguliam in that last room, towards the end of the last room. And Venom just entering the second room. So we're going to see some falling with style down the second room on Venom's side. And Tenguliam's going to show us the lovely Wendys Castle. And by lovely, I mean it's got everything, man. It's got saws. It's got dry bones. It's got crushers. Like, what more do you want from a castle? Taking a nice safe delay there. they can just, since they're small, run under all the crushers with that setup. And I didn't quite see what happened on Venom's side. I just sort of noticed we're still falling with style. Not that I have any complaints, but I got too excited at the prospect of fast food that Chad is suggesting. And I got kind of distracted. Venom's making his way past the Chucks. Tenguliam in the Wendy fight. Taking that Podoboo to the face, but that's alright because Wendy is defeated. We don't really need that mushroom for anything anyways. Tenguliam is out of Wendys Castle and heading into the sunken ghost ship. Alright, Venomplay is heading through Wendys Castle now. And, I don't know if I'm gonna call that one my fault either. It looks like he was debating going for the Crusher skip and sort of decided against it at the last minute, but the last minute was a little too late. But there's a nice small Crusher skip, so you know what? I think we got something even better out of the deal. Meanwhile, Tenguliam is going through the long, slow swimming section of the sunken ghost ship. And the reason it's long and slow is just because, you know, it's a water level. You're swimming at 8 speed max, I think. Or is it 9? You're swimming at roughly 8 speed. You have no items to speed it up. All you can really do is go for the despawn. Is that a double despawn? That is a double booring despawn. And, I mean, we just saw one of these last race too, but wow, nice. So what happens with the boo cloud is if it's on the screen while you're trying to load the boo rings, it just doesn't load the boo ring. And usually you can manipulate it in a way to despawn the first ring. Usually you don't see both of them go that way. And usually, I think in every case that you get the double despawn, the boo cloud stays. So that was really cool. And also orb. And everyone else has to say it. It's sort of the rule of the game. So if everyone in chat could say orb, that would really do a lot for me. And wow, in my excitement, Venomplay made their way through Wendy, defeated her, and has swept up the castle, literally. So that's kind of cool. And Tenguliam's in Valley of Bowser 1. This is another level where you can sort of see how the scroll helps manipulate the spawn there. The mole that he jumped across, up across the munchers there, if he hadn't scrolled, would not be in the right place, and he would have just landed on the munchers and died. Meanwhile, Venomplay in the sunken ghost ship. Let's see if they can get any of the despawns here. And we got one. Now that's typically what we see and what people are usually going for. It looks like Venom's going to take it safe and wait for that ring to open up to drop down. Not a bad choice. There's no backup power up there. Tenguliam went for that sandbar, didn't get it. Took a death. I have a slight feeling they are watching the restream, because that is a pretty deadly trick to go for in a race context. And I think he's aware of the lead he has right now. And let's get another orb in chat for Venomplay here. Orb. So both orbs have been collected. Both players have gotten through the ghost ship and are now in Valley of Bowser. Gosh, I'm just looking at the chat window, and it's full of orb and like one message from SpeedGaming bot, which, you know what, that doesn't count. Everyone said orb. I'm very happy. Good job, everyone. All right, Venomplay's making their way through Valley of Bowser 1. They were having a little bit of trouble making their way through the beginning part, but no big deal. Whew. Made me a little nervous with that chuck, but gonna make it through. Fun fact, throw blocks give you power-ups when you run them through the gold tape, as do most other items. So if you ever find yourself without a power-up, you can get yourself a mushroom by taking some object through the gold tape with you. Other objects will give you a 1-up, such as key. I think the key does. Yeah, the key does. Alright, Tenguliam entering a very dangerous castle. We've seen so many, or not castle, this is a fortress. This is the next Reznor we have to fight. And it is a very dangerous fortress with a very dangerous Reznor. Venomplay not going for that sandbar, or sliding past rather. Man, Tenguliam just, man, very well done through those crushers. Solid Reznor kill. This has been a pretty good run, all things considered. So that Reznor is defeated. Tenguliam is heading into Bowser's Castle. And because we're going through the back door, we go straight into Dark Room. And fun fact, Dark Room from back door has a midway tape in there. And it's kind of weird because you take the long way through Bowser's Castle, you don't get one. What's up with that? But Tenguliam in the Bowser fight, Venomplay in the last fortress. You know, this is still... These guys are still pretty close. Even though we're towards the end of the run. Right, and you'll notice Tenguliam has this extra Mecha Koopa, and in fact beat the first phase specifically to keep this Mecha Koopa. This Mecha Koopa is going to be used to try and skip one of the phases where Bowser drops a bowling ball. And it saves a little bit of time, and it's absolutely worth going for because, I mean, sitting there waiting for the second bowling ball takes a long time. Venomplay getting out of Reznor. It's a little more rough than Tenguliam's, but through and alive, and that's what's important. Tenguliam going for that ball skip. Let's see if they got it. And we'll know because Bowser's going to throw Mecha Koopas right there. And so we saved that time there. And we have an extra Mecha Koopa still, which is pretty awesome. Because ideally what we're going to see is Tenguliam throw this up before Bowser's hitbox becomes available. And right as Bowser's hitbox becomes available, the Mecha Koopa is going to be in Bowser's face. Just like that. Get that early 5th hit. And here come the last Mecha Koopas. Everyone get your GGs ready. for Tenguliam, our winner tonight. GG. A 39.05. Hold up. I think that's a PB. At least compared to what speedrun.com says. And I mean, the numbers are blue. I think Tenguliam just PB'd here, so let's make those like pretty big GGs. All right, we have Venomplay going for their ball skip, throwing up that Mecha Koopa. That looked like good timing to me. Let's see what happens. And we are joined by Tenguliam. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah. That was a good race.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm
GG,
really happy with that.
Is that an actual PB? I gotta ask.
Yeah, that is a PB by just under 4 seconds.
That is awesome. Well done.
Thank you.
You played really well this run.
It was okay. It was getting there. Like I was against my Oh, Venom just finished. Wow. Okay. Very close then.
Oh yeah, it was a very close.
I wasn't watching the restream for most of it. I stopped during like downtime to watch, and like he was playing really well. Like even though he had a couple of like slip ups, the backups were incredible. So like props to him.
Oh, absolutely. And Venom didn't skip a beat at any point, even when things had gone awry. He was just picked right back up where he was and just took off.
Yeah, so that's
almost incredible. Like it didn't face. It was very well played. It looks like we got a 40-59 on the stream here.
I think GG to that sounds about right. He probably did SRL a little bit late. Yeah, so damn, that was good. I'm very happy with the way I played though.
Yeah, I think you played very well.
Like so, I was comparing against my average splits for most of it, so I didn't actually realize I was on PB pace until I was in Bowser. I was like, oh, okay, I have to play well now.
That's got to be a real scary feeling then.
Yeah,
as soon as you flip it on and the pressure really turns on, it's not even just a race against Venom anymore, it's still a race against yourself.
Yeah. I think that, because I got a gold in Forest of Illusion, and then I somehow screwed it up in Chocolate by dying twice. So that was a rip, but now I know where I can improve, so that's good.
What was your favorite part of the run?
Ooh, I have to say the double despawn in Sunken Ghost Ship for me really it really surprised me for one. Because I was just swimming through and then suddenly, oh, I've got it just really confused me, and that was great.
And you played it really well too. I've seen a lot of people who do get it and they're not prepared for what happens with that, and you played it perfectly how you should have played it. Huh. And I just think that was awesome as well.
Practice that.
Well, it's not something that like you can really intentionally get. It's pretty tight, but it's also
I've
like
never seen that before.
I've died because of it, just because I wasn't prepared for that cloud to still be there.
It's just weird. It was pretty funny though. Like I was laughing.
I think that was also the highlight for me, if I'm being honest. But okay, how about How about what was your least favorite part then? What was the biggest? Ooh. That was a disaster part for you.
I was gonna lose the run at Forest of Illusion 2 because I dropped Yoshi and I was like, oh god. I just have to stay alive, and I just got to get through it, regardless of whether it takes like 15 tries. And I made it, and then I opened up the restream at the end of Roy, and at that exact moment, Venom was like in Roy, like
he almost was right there on your tail.
He was right behind me, and I got really shocked, and I was like, "Oh god!" And then
so you had a pretty decent gap going into Roy, or not going into Roy, but going into the forest, but Venom got a first try clip, so that really
it's always when you're behind, you always get the first try clip every time.
Yeah, it's like sort of the reprieve to bring the race back together.
Exactly. Like every time I'm in a race and I'm like second last or last, I always get the clip first try, and it doesn't change at all in practice. Like if I do practice, I will never get it first try, and then I'll do it again, and I will always get it first try when I'm racing against other people and I'm last.
I have a slight working theory that the practice card is actually rigged to make us think that we're better than we really are. And
That would
Dots is
be
actually
perfect,
just making us all slightly worse so that he can get ahead. But you know,
That's
just
something that Dots
conspiracy
would do, I
theory.
think. Yeah.
I'm
I
just
want to
kidding,
raise that
Dots.
in the
I love
Discord.
you.
Dots, you're really cool. Thanks.
I love the practice card. Thank you.
Practice card is honestly one of the main reasons why I run Super Mario World and not something else. Because it's like, it's just so useful. It's so good. I have no complaints.
It really is. And hey, fun thing about Dots, Dots is actually racing tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we've got a couple races coming up tomorrow. We've got Dunkel Goddick versus Sweetie, who was actually in the last race we had today.
Against Akamaru?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
and then after that, that race is at 10 a.m. Eastern, and then we have Xander versus Dots Are Cool at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Ooh,
Now, and
that's
those
a
are
good
both.
race.
That's a really good race too. Like these are both going to be
Yeah.
awesome races. You guys should definitely check those out if you get the chance. You should also check out the SMW Discord, the SpeedGaming links that are all in the panels below. And I don't know. Do you have anything else to say before we wrap up here?
Well, shout outs to you for commentating. Thank you for commentating today, dude.
Oh, of course. Love to commentate.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say then. Yeah. Keep an eye out for the No Cape No Style tournament. It's gonna keep going over the next couple months.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just like this race, there's going to be lots and lots of other great races happening. So just keep your eye on it. I think that's it for me. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you at the next one.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.